Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a live first impression of all of the new champions that were added to the game today, so let's get into it. Alrighty, if we pull up the news tab here on the left side, we can see that we have new champions, new buffs. I did already do a video about the boosted summoning rates and all the news from today, so definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. It'll be one of the newest videos on my channel, and now this video is going to be dedicated towards going over all of the new champions and grading them and doing kind of like a first reaction. So what I'm going to do is kind of start at the bottom with the rares, and I'm going to kind of work my way up from there and go over the legendaries. So the first one is going to be Steadfast Marshal, which is a rare in the Banner Lords. Must be this one here. Okay, so we've got an A1, 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff for one turn if the target's max HP is lower. Okay, places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns and grants an extra turn. Okay, so only affects him. So gonna have a lot of defense and a lot of HP. So this is gonna be a super tank. Places a Veil buff on all champions except this champion for 2 turns. Very cool. Okay, so this will be an interesting mechanic. This is a way to veil your entire team. Okay, so I don't really know how to grade this because this could be good, especially for like the late game dungeons. If you're veiling everything and then placing provokes, you could really, you know, build super squishy and use this guy to help you really speed farm those dungeons. So this could be cool. I don't know what to really rate it until I'm able to test it, which may be a common theme in this video if it's going to be a lot of stuff revolving around the Veil buffs. But so I'll give this a B+. It looks kind of cool, and I'm very interested to see how this works out. Alrighty, next is going to be a rare Barbarian. This one here, Hill Nomad. Okay, so really good base speed, 103. Attack one enemy, 50% chance of placing a 25% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. That's okay. For being a rare, it's a pretty good A1. Places a 7.5 continuous heal buff on an ally for 2 turns. Being that it's only one ally, I wish it was 15%, but it is going to be basically permanent. So, okay, not too bad for being a rare. Places a Veil buff on an ally for 1 turn and a 25% increased attack buff for 2 turns. Also places a shield buff on this champion equal to 20% of their max HP on a 3-turn cooldown. Okay, so interesting. Gonna be kind of a decent little support damage buffer with also a little bit of utility for an A1. And let's remember that this is a rare, so you know we can't be grading too harshly. So I'm gonna give it a B. Looks interesting to try out, you know, and in terms of being a champion that's easy to acquire with a good base speed, I'll give it a B. Looks okay. Next is going to be an epic in the Banner Lords. No, I don't think that's it. Yes, Seneschal. Ooh, really good base speed at 105. Attack one enemy with a 30% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. Based on defense and attack, I like that. I like champions that are based off of defense. I think it's the best main stat to scale with. HP is also good, and attack can be good for like speed farming, potion dungeons and stuff, but in terms of end game viability for like dungeon 20s, usually you want defense or HP. So looking okay so far. Places a perfect Veil buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on an ally for 2 turns. Okay, we can get that to a 2-turn cooldown. Looks interesting. Okay. Places a counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Has a 60% chance of placing a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn on a 4-turn cooldown. Counterattack for 2 turns to attack 1 enemy and place a leech. My first reaction is kind of meh. I think it's close to being really cool, and again, disclaimer, I could end up being wrong because I still have a lot of testing to do in terms of Veil and how it functions in the game, but my first reaction is a C. It is kind of okay. Not garbage, but not great. So in terms of being an epic, I'm going to give Seneschal a C. Now let's go an epic in the Night Revenant. Alrighty. Looks like it is going to be this one. Yeah, Necro Hunter. Cool name and pretty cool aesthetics. I do like that. Ooh, I like how the helm has like faces, 4 faces. That's kind of cool. Okay. So we've got an A1 that attacks one enemy twice. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing it. Ooh, okay, that's a good A1. A 60% decreased defense. That's really good. And it attacks twice, so each hit's gonna have like that's pretty good. It's a good A1. Attacks one enemy with a 50% chance of attacking all enemies with an extra hit. Attacks one enemy with a 50% chance of attacking all enemies with an extra hit. Okay. That's kind of like a pseudo AoE that's unreliable, so I don't really like that. Attack one enemy, place a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns if critical. So end game, we usually have a really good crit chance on our attack champions. So this is one that we can get consistent value out of on a 4-turn cooldown on this champion if critical. Okay, I think the A1 is going to be the redeeming quality here. But again, it's a single target. So yeah, I'm going to go B-. Looks interesting for an epic. Does have a 60% crit damage base, which is good. So yeah, B-. I think Necro Hunter is okay. Next, we're going to go in the epic of Sacred Order. And it's going to be... Who am I looking for? This one here? Yeah, Mistress of Hymns. Okay. We've got really good base speed again at 103. Attack one enemy. Heals the ally with the lowest HP by 15% of damage inflicted. I like that. That's a decent A1 for like dungeon farming and stuff. Attack one enemy. Places a 15% continuous heal buff on the 2 allies with the lowest HP. Okay, that's not bad. A 3-turn cooldown. Not bad. Revive 2 random allies with 50% HP and place a veil buff on them for 1 turn. 5-turn cooldown. Pretty good. I do like that. And then we have an aura of defense in all battles. Okay, so Mistress of Hymns looks decent. Pretty good support with Veil and Revive, heals and sustain, base speed of 103 and an all battle defense aura. I would say like a B or a B+. Definitely looks usable is kind of my first impression. I wouldn't say like godly or anything, but looks like a decent support. So I'm gonna B+, somewhere in there. Next, we're gonna go epic in the Demon Spawn. Infernal Baroness, gotta be this one. Okay. Cool. Okay. Attack all enemies. I love AoE A1s. Heal the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of the damage inflicted. That's so little. That's funny. Yeah, that's such a little heal, but it is an AoE A1, so I do like that. Ooh, and another AoE with a 50% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff on all. So this is kind of like a Nezana. Okay, on a 3-turn cooldown, not bad. Places a perfect veil buff on an ally for 3 turns. Okay, that's not bad, because the perfect veil, they don't lose when they attack, so... Okay. Yeah. Infernal Baroness, I wonder if she has... I need to know the multipliers. This champion could go anywhere from, like, A to, like, C. I need to know the multiplier of the A1 AoE, because it's possible that this could be like a Spider Den campaign farmer, but it is Force, so probably not the best option for campaign farming, but Looks cool. I do like the design here, and I like the perfect veil for 3 turns. That's pretty good. It is a random ally, so it's uncontrollable. It's not like lowest HP or lowest defense or anything. You can't target it. I'm gonna go B+. Looks like it's got some good utility here, and it's got a good defense score, but the damage is based on attack. I hope Infernal Baroness hits a little bit harder than Nezana. I'm gonna go B+. Definitely an interesting epic. And then Excruciator, I did a video where I kind of tested Excruciator, but I'll go over Excruciator really quick. This was the champion in the event that a lot of people were saying was really tough to acquire. But we've got a one enemy hitter for the A1, and then damage is inflicted if under the Veil. A2 is kind of similar. It's going to be a one hitter with a bigger damage buff if under Veil, and then the passive is going to be if gets a kill, places the Veil buff back on Excruciator. So again, I've reviewed Excruciator before. I think it's about a B- to a C+. Doesn't look super good and probably not worth 6-starring, but is okay. So next, let's go Corpse Collector Epic, and the Undead is gotta be this one here. Corpse Collector. 106 base speed, very nice. Okay. Attack one enemy with a 40% chance of placing a Leech debuff for 2 turns. Okay, I think Leech could use a slight rework to make it a little bit more impactful than it is. I don't ever seem to get a whole lot of value out of Leech, but, it's an A1, so I'll take it. Attack all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown. 75% chance of placing 100% heal reduction debuff and 50% decrease accuracy debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So this is going to be a really good ability. I was going to say for the arena, but generally we don't have like super long arena battles. The nuke strategy, like the turn meter buffer and, the nuke strategy is kind of king. Maybe if you're going up against like a Rhine Beast campaign and stuff, this would be, or a Rhine Beast like composition, this would be pretty good, but okay. And then we've got attack 3 times at random. Each hit has a 75% chance of placing a 5% poison. Okay. For 2 turns. Places a Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Okay, I do like this. A 4-turn cooldown's a little rough. I wish this was a 4 to get to a 3. That would be really good then. So makes this champion usable against the clan boss because you're going to be placing some poisons and placing a leech. Heal reduction is worthless against the clan boss. We've got accuracy in the arena by 40. Okay, so Corpse Collector, I'm gonna give like a C+ or a B-. Looks okay, but not great and not terrible. Really good base speed, so I like that. C+, B-, somewhere around there. And now we are going to get into the legendaries. So let's go over Yannica. Is a legendary high elf, and right here, okay, 100 base speed. That's the first thing my eyes always go to, is the base speed. It's the first thing I kind of want to take note of. Attack 1 enemy, then attacks another random enemy. Interesting. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. That's an interesting A1. I can roll with that. That's not bad. Attack 1 enemy, 75% chance of placing a perfect Veil buff on this champion for 2 turns if critical. I wish it was 100. I mean, Yannica is a legendary, so I wish it was 100. 75% seems kind of lame for a legendary. It's a 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, I wish it was a little bit more consistent value since she's legendary, but okay. And then attack all enemies on a 4-turn cooldown, decrease their max HP by 25%. Decreasing max HP is a pretty lame effect. It's very situationally useful. It's not generally useful. So, okay, I hope the aura is pretty good. It looks like it's attack, so I'm hoping it's all battles by 30%. Oh, it's spirit attack by 36%. Okay. Yannica. And remember, this is kind of opposite than the rares. We have to grade kind of harshly because these champions are legendary. So, you know, in the rares, I said we need to be, you know, not very harsh in how we grade because they are rare. In this case, it's the opposite. They're legendary, so they're supposed to be really good. So I'm going to grade kind of harshly here. Yeah, I'm going to say like a C- or a D+. Like, I just wish this was more guaranteed utility for being legendary. Okay, so let's move on to a legendary in the Dark Elves. And it's got to be this one here. I never know how to say this word. Is it Vizier? I'm sure someone will let me know. Or Vizier. Ovelis. Looks pretty cool. I do like the aesthetics here. Very nice. Okay. 101 base speed. Attack one enemy 3 times. I like this already. Each hit has a 35% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs by 1 turn. What? A 3-hitter, and each hit we can get this to 50%. So does this mean if it procs 3 times, it's going to increase the duration of all buffs by 3 turns? Or does it max out at increasing them by 1 turn? Either way, this A1 is incredible. Holy cow. A 3-hitter, each hit 35% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs by 1 turn. Wow. That's one of the best A1s in the game. That's the craziest thing I've seen so far in going over all of these champions. This champion's already going to have a good grade. It doesn't even really matter what the other stuff is. So I expect the other stuff to be semi-underwhelming, given how amazing the A1 is. Attack one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a block buffs debuff. Very nice. A 50% decrease attack debuff and a 100% heal reduction. I don't mind heal reduction if it's thrown in as a slough effect like it is here. So 4-turn cooldown, block buffs, and decrease attack. Wow. For 2 turns. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. This is really good versus the clan boss. I like that. Attack one enemy, applies a debuff spread. 4-turn cooldown. 2 random debuffs and place them on all enemies. Place a perfect veil on this champion for 3 turns if the target is under 2 or more debuffs. Okay, so attack a target. If they're under 2 or more debuffs, it'll place a perfect veil. Wow. Places a perfect veil. Holy. At the start of each round. Ally attack in dungeons by... Whew. Okay. This champion's insane for dungeons. And pretty good against the clan boss. Wow. 101 base speed. Yeah, I'm going A+. This champion looks incredible, is my first impression. So I'm going to go A+. If I were adding this champion to my legendary tier list, would probably be in the god tier. So definitely A+. I like the design. I like the synergies in terms of a passive that works around Perfect Veil and the debuff spread and the Perfect Veil, and it's based off of attack in dungeons, which this champion is going to help with the veil and everything. So yeah, wow, I like this champion, and it's definitely an A+. Should be a very good champ. All right, and then the last one is going to be a legendary in the demon spawn. Looks like it's going to be this one, Candrafon. I hope I said that right. Candrafon. Looks interesting. Okay. A1, attack one enemy, place an extra hit if the target is under an increased attack buff. That's a very it's a very specific that's kind of a weird A1, but okay. Attack all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown. Grant an extra turn and reset the cooldown of On the Hunt if this kills an enemy. So what's On the Hunt? So reset the cooldown of On the Hunt, which is place a perfect veil buff and a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Interesting. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So, wow, okay. And 50%, he's got a pretty high attack score, so that's not bad. That's 750 attack. 754 attack. Or 755, depends how it rounds. And a perfect veil for 2 turns. So as long as he's killing something every 2 turns. So going to be a pretty good speed farmer, it looks like. What's the passive? Damage increased by 40% while has perfect veil. Okay, so yeah, a really good speed farming character as long as they're getting kills. Could be very good in the Spider Den, especially until like the later stages, like 19 or 20. This character looks like it could do pretty well. Ally attack in the arena by 33%. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if he would be a good nuker. But his first... So is he usable in the arena? 96 speed isn't great. And then his first ability that he uses in the arena would probably be this. He'll attack all enemies, grant an extra turn, and reset the cooldown of On the... Okay, so what you would want to do is have Candrafon go last. So you'd have like your whole team kind of like buff, and then you'd have somebody nuke and hurt the enemy team, and then have him use Butcher's Glee, maybe get a kill, grant an extra turn, reset On the Hunt, and kind of snowball from there. Okay, so yeah, I like this champion. I'm gonna give it an A-. Looks interesting. Looks like a pretty good legendary that would definitely be fun to kind of play around with. The A1 is kind of wonky. I don't know why it was designed like this. Seems very specific. I know the clan boss has an increased attack buff pretty commonly in the later stages and stuff, but I'm kind of surprised by the A1. I wish it was a little bit different, but other than that, I kind of like the design of the champion, so I'll give it an A-. Looks pretty good. Alrighty, so that's going to kind of do it for my video here on, you know, kind of a live first reaction of the new champions. The my takeaways kind of in general are, you know, my biggest takeaway is that the Vizier Ovelis Dark Elf legendary is insane. I think he's going to be a god tier legendary. And then the Candrafon is a pretty good legendary, and Yannica is kind of an underwhelming legendary in my opinion. So that's kind of my main takeaways. You know, the legendaries are kind of what's sticking out in my head. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. I always enjoy hearing your guys' input. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.